It's no secret that the world is going through, let's call it a rough patch that, by the way, gets so much worse before it gets better. But there are also one or two astrological bright spots that can transform your life if you but jump on them. I've been doing angel magic for more than 20 years, and this upcoming full moon in Sagittarius, so soon after Jupiter arrives in Cancer, is an exciting opportunity to catch that current. So, in this video, I'm going to share with you a simple and safe ceremony for seeking out the blessing and favor of the angel of Jupiter over the next, call it, year or so. And potentially, let's say, jump onto one of the better available timelines. Let's begin with the magical significance of the moon itself. And by the way, if you are watching this after the full moon, don't worry, I've got a backup solution for you. So stick around. The first thing a Sagittarius full moon ritual is going to need is a full moon. So I actually prefer new moons to full moons for magic. They are a wonderful opportunity to set intention in darkness, but darkness like black earth, not spooky darkness. And I enjoy the surprising delight as to how those things grow. It's very much manifestation. It's very sigil magic. I like it. Because funnily enough, like the full moon is actually the end of the growth phase. It's almost like, oh, well, if you need something to grow, you've almost picked exactly the worst time to ask for it, sort of, because it is ready to release is a better way of thinking it. Especially a Sag moon, you want to think of it as like a fully drawn bowstring ready to release the energy that has accumulated, right? So it's also very bright, which means goals are revealed, as are blockages and pitfalls. So a road is illuminated. With this one in particular, we want to be releasing some of this energy along a new path that is obviously governed by, that's a wrong way of saying it, that is heavily informed by the Jupiter in Cancer era. So we need a moon. Better it be a Sag moon. So Sagittarius, of course, governs long roads and far horizons and meaning seeking and quests and all of that cool stuff. So a full moon here essentially ratifies the prioritization of meaning making. Okay, it is time for that, and pilgrimage and so on. So a full moon here, because it's the moon and its embodiment and so on, why it's good for magic nevertheless is it is a concretization in the experiential of, in this case, all the Sag things, right? What you want to be thinking about, whether you do this ceremony or not, is to commit publicly to the quest. And that's why the video is called Bring Me That Horizon. It is from Pirates of the Caribbean, inevitably, but it's the right energy for a Sag full moon moment as the ceremonial inauguration of the Jupiter in Cancer era. It reminds me, if any of you watched or were aware of, like the Hong Kong handover in the late 90s, where Britain gave it back to China, whatever the hell that all means with countries and so on. But it's like when you hand over keys, or you have a ceremony that inaugurates and references a bigger era. So this lunation is already ceremonial, which is why I'm going to give you a couple of options in this video for how to participate and co-participate in it. But the energy you want to bring is a little bit of that, bring me that horizon. Especially, I went with, okay, just extra there, like it's Cancer, it's water, it's oceans. So it's like pirates is a little bit Sag going all over the place. Right. Angel magic. So there is a whole course on angel magic in the premium membership, and it's one of my favorites. I absolutely love it. I love angel magic. And be a bit generous with me as I describe it this way, because I'm going to like use speech marks and so on. What is angel magic? Angel magic is our language for engaging with the apprehensible intelligences of the cosmos. What do those $5 words mean, Gordon? Like I said, be gentle with this, because it's not wrong at a high level and only becomes wrong in detail. It's our words for, or our language for, the reality that the cosmos is made up of and filled with spirits. So there are not just angels of planets, there are angels of nations and mountains and oceans and seasons, just as there are spirits of them. And the existence of angels as a cosmovision inside, well, we got it from Judaism, obviously, is a bit of an open question as to where it comes from, because one of the suggestions is that it came via Babylonian captivity, which means that it's essentially Sumerian, which means if it's Sumerian, it's 20,000 years old. So when you're talking about angel magic, you are talking about essentially spirit work and shamanism in Eurasia from 20,000 years ago. Pretty exciting when you go to pick up a birthday card or a happy new baby arrival card and you see all these little angels and you think, man, where did they come from? What a journey they've been on to end up here as this like fat little white baby with tiny wings. Anyway, so I love angel magic. And Sachiel is the angel of Jupiter. Now, with the Jupiter in Cancer era, he is essentially a little bit seconded, right? Think of him like a secret agent or whatever working for a different department. He's not quite working for a different department, but he does have a new remit. So he is on assignment to support and fulfill the requirements of life. Like if you think about Cancer, the requirements of life, but embodiment and so on. You want to get on that mission. Okay. So the greater benefic in service of life is a current that you want. And you want to do it with angel magic because of the apprehensible intelligences of the cosmos. You want a being made of this moment that you can talk to. And this is why I'm going to recommend Sachiel. So what is the goal of the ceremony? And actually, well, most ceremonies, it's to get their attention. And it's something Chris Knowles and I said many, many years ago on the blog and then in an early episode of the podcast. We were talking about like elite super rituals at the time. But the goal of a ceremony, if it is the Lord's Prayer or a rosary or an angel magic ceremony, is to get their attention. It's as simple as that. Once you have that attention, you are demonstrating to Sachiel that you are on board for his mission. Over the next year, and you are to open yourself up to the mission. If you're watching a video on astrology, you probably already know that transits are best fulfilled intentionally. And as you go on your astrological learning journey, you will notice things like you'll have a friend and she's got Saturn opposite her Venus, and it's kind of like, yes, I could see you're a little bit trapped in this relationship. You know what I mean? Like, but she's not watching it. You are. You will have also noticed that when you start watching yours and even to some extent leaning into them, there's a force multiplier effect of like a 1.5. Transits are best fulfilled intentionally. And this is doubly so when it comes to angel magic, because you are turning your awareness, you're attending to the reality of the cosmos being made up of a community of beings. You are, via this ceremony, essentially adding Sachiel to your spirit team. And spirit team is a phrase or a term we use in the premium membership. Everyone who comes to Earth essentially comes to Earth with like an X-Men team of different angels and saints and ancestors and so on. Yeah. And so we call that the spirit team. And just because it's fun and cute, but that's what we mean by this in this case. So you're to get Sachiel's attention and to celebrate the moment, to ritualize at the full moon the Jupiter in Cancer era, and to step into allowing, if the cosmos is going to fulfill that, which it will, it's going to fulfill Jupiter in Cancer as well as a bunch of other not great stuff. Would you much rather be the fulfillment of Saturn in Aries? Or would you rather be the fulfillment of Jupiter in Cancer? So that's the goal of the ceremony. How about how do? Right. Planetary angel magic. Angel magic in general is very forgiving. Planetary angel magic, especially if you have a care for the timing, and you're watching an astrology video, so you probably do. It says, I've got late Tuesday evening there. I'm not doing it at the complete full moon because that's like 3:30 a.m. Wednesday morning here, last time I checked. And that is not a time I see and have not seen for many a year. So I'm going to do it late on Tuesday evening for me. What is that? 7 p.m. Who knows? It's definitely not 3:30 a.m. Now, I did promise if you miss the full moon, this is what you do instead. You pick any Thursday morning at sunrise. And I mean sunrise. Okay. I don't mean like whenever you get up. The the first hour, planetary hour, but this is why I'm just going to say sunrise because it's easier, of Thursday is governed by Jupiter and always will be. So you can do the Sachiel ceremony if you get up before sunrise and begin it at, you can just ask, ChatGPT or whatever, what time sunrise is, at wherever your latitude is for Thursday, any Thursday, like literally any Thursday, but this is a ceremonial stepping into the Jupiter in Cancer era. So let's do it while Jupiter is in Cancer. I mean, live your life, but that's what that's what this ceremony is for. Now, one of the things I get asked very often is how to do a ritual in the sense of, what do I need to buy? What do I need to skip? Now, here is what I tell people. Imagine you are preparing a meal for your best friend's birthday. That's exactly how much you spend. That's exactly how much you do. So if you're preparing a meal for her and you guys are in college, which means you have no money, and you have made a store-cupboard vegetarian curry out of stuff you bought in bulk at Costco because that's straight up what you can afford, she will love it. If you are the CEO of a Fortune 100 company and you fly her to St. Bart's for her birthday, she will literally love that the exact same amount. Okay, so treat a ceremony as preparing a meal for your best friend's birthday. People want to know what they can cut, and it's not like that. It's like this. Sachiel especially, I mean, it's the angel of Jupiter, is not going to be impressed if you spend a lot. And arguably, it's the opposite energy to what you want. If you are you're bringing lack and fear and a sense that you aren't worthy enough. If you overspend to try to flex on these hoes like you're an up and coming rapper, that's not good energy to bring to Jupiter. It's only not Jupiter in Cancer, right? Like you want nurturing, you want thought. And so imagine you're preparing a meal for your best friend's birthday is how you do ritual. As for the ingredients that I use, it is 2 blue candles, 2 white candles, so Sachiel and the moon. The seal of Sachiel, which you can Google image search and find for yourself. Draw that in blue or purple or gold or any of those kind of very Jupiterian colors. Offering bowl for blue offerings. I used gummy Smurfs. Why? Because it's Paraguay, and these are coming back to that best friend's birthday. There are some limitations to the things I can buy in a supermarket, but they have imported German candy, so it is German Smurfs. You need frankincense. Frankincense is a good all-round incense, but it's also Jupiter. And beads. What do I mean by beads? Anal beads. No, we're going with rosary or mala or something, and these are optional. I will explain in a moment. So what you do then is open ceremony, not Olympics. You can do this however you want. I do this in a very shamanically informed way because of my healing lineage. That's how I like to do these kinds of works, these kinds of operations. Now, you obviously don't need to do that. You can do a Lord's Prayer. You can, depending on whatever you do before meditation, you can call in just divine white light around you and sanctify the room that way. Genuinely, not much of when I say it's not that it doesn't matter. It absolutely matters. You have to get it right, but you have to get it right for you. That's what I mean. And then you want an Orphic hymn to the moon. Now, amongst the membership in particular, I am famous for detesting the Thomas Taylor twee little rhyming versions, which are the ones you will find, because they're out of copyright, the ones you will find all over the internet. I have a bunch of books of different versions of the Orphic hymns, highly recommended to just generally start collecting them. Agrippa said that it was the Orphic hymns, I'm paraphrasing here, but they are the absolute best way to essentially capture, not in a negative way, capture the energy of planets, of natural magic, the Orphic hymns. And I agree. I mean, it's Agrippa. Like, you should probably agree. I do not like the Tom Taylor ones. So what you can do in the year of our Lord 2025 is ask ChatGPT for a Orphic hymn to the moon, but not in the style of Thomas Taylor because you hate the twee little rhymes. And they do a pretty good job. But then you go back, I don't like this bit, or can you include something about the water because it's Jupiter in Cancer? And I will link below the Orphic hymn to Sachiel that I did exactly. Obviously, there isn't an Orphic hymn to Sachiel, but there is now, thanks to ChatGPT. You're welcome to use that one. Or honestly, like it's pretty useful to get good at prompting, especially if you don't consider yourself much of a writer or you don't particularly enjoy it. It's and also you can feed your draft to like Claude, especially. So Claude is a better writer. Here's a little sidebar for you. Claude is a better writer in terms of AIs, but it doesn't like magic as much as ChatGPT does. And in fact, it will really Lisa Simpson you. And I've actually had arguments with it, calling it racist because it's trying to tell me that Shipibo magic is like not real, and I'm like, oh, here we go. All right, let's play this. So I like to yell at AIs, is what I'm telling you. Very normal life I have here. But you can do it however you want, and it's useful, I think, to get good at prompting to spit out Orphic hymns or other forms of incantation that you might need further on down the line. So that's my suggestion. Now, what do you do? This is the second question I get asked once the ceremony begins. Well, once you've done that, once you have celebrated the moon, you've celebrated Sachiel, and you've made the offerings. This is a question I get asked all the time, particularly in reference to grimoires. Because actually, if you look at what the grimoires do, they describe a process of building a telephone and making a phone call. And then they stop, because at that point, the spirit has arrived. It's up to you and the spirit to do whatever you're doing. So it's very fair for beginners to be like, okay, what do I do next? It's like, well, let me give you a baseline. And if you would like more on how to do automatic writing or channeling or any of that stuff, of course, join the membership. You spend a few moments in the presence of the angel. You can do that sitting quietly. This is candles, nighttime, wonderful, right? Sit there, smelling the frankincense, and just notice. So later on in this presentation, I reference a friend of mine and fellow Huon Valley denizen back in Tasmania, Lee Morgan, who writes about witchcraft, very, very good books on witchcraft. And he says that he thinks the sight could almost be called the noticing, because that's what having the sight is. And in a spirit context, just be present for what comes up in and around you. But you can also just be in that moment. And be in that moment for how long? As long as that feels right. You will get good at this. If this is the first time you ever do a ceremony, you're not going to mess this up. You're basically dealing with God, the moon, and the angel of Jupiter. Nothing's going to go sideways here, right? So spending a few moments in that, you may get a message. You may just like the vibe, because remember, he's trying to get to know you. You're trying to get to know the feel of it. And then you move into what I like to do. This is why you have the beads. Affirmation land. Once Sachiel has been summoned and praised, recite this Florence Shin affirmation. I ended a recent video with an affirmation from Florence Shin, and a couple of people in the comments were like, oh, I've been reading her for years. Like she was a famous early 20th century American metaphysician, and she loved an affirmation, and she loved a good short prayer and Bible reference. And this one is one of hers, and it's great for a Sag moon moving into Jupiter and Cancer era, right? New fields of divine activity now open for me. Unexpected doors fly open. Unexpected channels are free. Now, you can just do this. If you're not vibing on doing a ceremony, or this is not really what you do a run round of your rosary or mala beads or whatever. Set a timer and light a candle maybe. Do this affirmation for the full moon. And do it a bunch. Don't say it just once, right? Come on, put some effort in. Get your reps in, get your steps in. This, I think, is a very powerful affirmation. And so I'm releasing this video this weekend, and at the time of recording tomorrow, the members will receive a new masterclass on my favorite ever spell ever, which is Abre Camino, or the Road Opener. I think it's the most powerful spell to get good at, to change your life. And there will be a complete masterclass available by the time you are watching this. And I'm timing it so it's out for the energy of the Sag moon, because if you think about that, bring me that horizon, expansive, off on quests, setting out from Rivendell, but hopefully going somewhere better. I'm trying to get all of this stuff, you know how it is, aligned with the magic. So you can just do this affirmation. You can do the Sachiel stuff and then this affirmation. And then you basically say, you close it, however, similarly to how you would open it, whatever feels right for you. You say thank you, and almost, I always want to say like, and I look forward to working with you. But the close is about having the, it's called a license to depart, but it's almost like you wouldn't just get up and leave someone's house, and vice versa. If you have a guest, you wouldn't just like, I mean, I would if it's my friends, but like just get up and go to bed, So you want to close it however you want. Everyone asks all these questions like, can I blow the candles out? Yes. Like truly, you can, like, there are certain, if the ceremony specifies that you can't, then don't. But otherwise, of course, you can. You understand why people don't. They don't want to offend the spirit of elemental fire, which I get. All right. So that's the ceremony done. What does it do? I'm glad you asked. How rites work is actually a 301 conversation. I was thinking as I put these slides together, because I've just got back a month or so ago from being in the high Andes with my shamanic healing teacher, getting a new rite. It's a bit more than a month now. A new rite on Mount Pachatusan, which is the world mountain for the Inca and the Q'ero. And it was really potent. And what it does, rites, and this is sort of a rite, I've built it that way. They light up the synchronicity road. There are some rites that are kind of heavier because they'll put things in chakras and so on. But this is the opposite. And it will feel like nothing, but reality will like change. And it will change in the sense of you will start, if you commit to the noticing. So what you say to Sachiel is like, I'm on board for the mission, and I celebrate your mission, and I, set my intention to co-create with you, Jupiter in Cancer, because it brings you into alignment with this current of what the cosmos is expressing now. You are attending to it. Attention is your only gift, okay? Because that is God, but it's really the only thing you do. Everything else is in flow. You borrow the body. Everything else is the cosmos moving. But attending is one part of the cosmos noticing another part. It is genuinely your only gift. It can express in additional things to other people and so on, but that's makes it sound negative. It's positive. That's all you have. You are sacred attending, and what you attend upon grows. So this is why the rites kind of like, you finish and go, okay, well, what happens now? First of all, be on the lookout for, hey, I don't need this anymore. Do you want this? Or, hey, do you know anyone who is looking for a job in blah, whatever it ends up being? Of course, if you know your Cancer whole sign house, mine's the 9th. This is like the Sag moon is basically, so I have Venus and Sun in Cancer 9th. So this whole like home and heart on the road, bring me that horizon, is very much me right now. I'm into it. And I'm moving into a Cancer perfection at the end of June. So like this, I'm looking forward to this. Not gonna lie. This is what it does. So you have set the intention to be a conscious co-expressor of this current. Now, what I would recommend for people who like spirit work is ongoing Sachiel work during this transit. I didn't. I have just that little paper one because I'm in Paraguay. But if you can put your seal with your other spirits on your little altar or what have you. You don't necessarily need to. Remember that Thursday morning thing? You can think about that. You can light a candle, but just ongoing Sachiel work, however you do spirit work, or of course you can do the angel magic course. So this is what it does. And this is what I would recommend for you. And if you are interested in more astrological initiations, then I suggest you watch this video next.